member of the famous Big Four and a consistent competitor for the MotoGP title from 2007 to 2014, Dani Pedrosa is a hero. However, the image of uncrowned champion sticks to his skin, haunts him, follows him wherever he goes. While Pedrosa's MotoGP career may have been fortunate to receive the HRC golden ticket, racing, regulations and broken bones have mostly conspired against him. But you wouldn't be aware of half of it if you thought he had simply been unlucky. So why was the grail never lifted by the Spaniard? Pedrosa was once the king of the Saxon Ring. He won the 250 race in 2004 and 2005. He then went on to win a hat-trick of MotoGP races in 2010, 2011 and 2012 before young Marc Marquez came along. But that is a different story. We are talking about Pedrosa today, MotoGP's pint-sized perennial performer. Daniel Pedrosa Ramal grew up close to Sabadell in the village of Castellar del Vallès. He started riding a motorbike at the young age of 4 when he received his first side-wheeled Italjet 50 motorcycle. When he was 6 years old, his parents bought him a mini-bike replica of a Kawasaki, which he used to race with his friends. When Pedrosa joined the Spanish mini-bike championship at the age of 9, he had his first taste of actual racing. He finished second in his rookie season and achieved his first podium in the second race of the season. The next year, he entered the same championship. But he was unable to improve his performance due to health issues, and he finished third that season. Still not bad at all. Pedrosa debuted in the World Championship in the 125 class in 2001, having been chosen in 1999 from the Movistar Activa Cup. With Alberto Puig as his coach, who is now team manager at Honda Repsol, Pedrosa finished third in the championship the year after he finished on the podium twice in the season before. With 2 rounds left in the 2003 season, he had won 5 races and earned 223 points to win the championship. 1 week later, he ended his season after breaking both of his ankles in a crash during practice at Phillip Island. Because his ankles were healing throughout the off-season, he moved to the 250 class in 2004 after winning the 125 championship without taking an official test on the new bike. Pedrosa, who was unprepared for the season, won the opening race in South Africa and continued to win the 250 World Championship along with the Rookie of the Year award. He chose to stay in the 250 class for 1 more season and took home another title. A future superstar under the direction of Alberto Puig, who is well respected. The Catalan, who is 21 years old, is getting ready to start his first MotoGP Grand Prix, barely touching the ground without exaggerating. At the end of growth, Dani encounters a problem that is more annoying than it seems. His size, 5 feet 2 inches for approximately 114 pounds, a super featherweight, which puts him at a significant disadvantage and gets him vile mockery. Large 994-stroke engines cause a lot of inertia in the machines. Although the 2006 financial year was challenging, great things were expected. Daniel got the first of his 31 victories in the Premier Class at Shanghai after starting from pole. There will be another at Donington at a later date. Finishing in 5th place, he had a respectable debut season. The rules changed in 2007. Exit the 990 and make way for the 800 engines. The little Spaniard can only be happy by a lighter machine on paper. Except nothing is working. Dani finished as Vice World Champion 3 times in 2007, 2010 and 2012, all without even being able to compete for the title. Is it cold sports logic or injustice? As usual, it's difficult to respond to this. Let's quickly list and explain the main reasons of this failure. It is a fact that Pedrosa evolved at a time when competition was fierce. Of course, he was one of these rivals as well, albeit not as formidable as the others at the time. Consider one of his best seasons. Despite having 332 points in 2012, he was overtaken by Jorge Lorenzo, 17 podiums in 18 races. The same thing happened in 2010, dictated its law to the entire world, and created one of the best single seasons ever. 2007 was slightly more affordable, but the Spaniard's path was blocked by an extraterrestrial Casey Stoner, who thinks physical weakness is implied by little size. The 800 were, in fact, more ferocious and more able to adapt, pushing the pilots forward without any issues. Pedrosa suffered from this brutality, missing 14 MotoGP Grand Prix, sometimes at pivotal moments. Compared to other members of the Big Four, this is significant more over the same period. The 31-time Grand Prix winner revealed that he had been diagnosed as having the same issue that ended his former teammate Casey Stoner's career in 2012, when Stoner was just 27 years old. According to the Spaniard, it took him another 3 years to fully recover from the illness's effects and returned to the track once more. Dani never had the killer mentality of Marc Marquez, Lorenzo, or Rossi. Shy off the track, but also when overtaking. Sure, he took part in some spectacular jousts, but it wasn't enough for someone who must compete for the championship. On too many occasions, Pedrosa was largely dominated in battle. In 2012, luck played a major role in his career. He qualified in pole position at Misano, but was robbed of a race result because Karel Abraham's Ducati stalled on the starting grid, forcing riders to complete a second parade lap. Pedrosa's bad luck would repeat itself. His front tyre warmer became stuck, forcing him to take his bike off the grid and swap it out for his backup. The bike was returned to the grid in last position. A short while later, the tyre warmer became unstuck. On the first lap, he managed to pass the pack and get into the top 10, before being knocked off by Hector Barbera, which resulted a DNF. Jorge Lorenzo won the race, which helped Lorenzo win the championship at the end of the season. Pedrosa scored 332 points in 2012, but lost out on the title. To put this in perspective, Marc Marquez won the title in 2013 with 334 points. The MotoGP titles in 2015, 2016, 2017, and 2018 would have been won by the 2012 332 tally. Pedrosa still has the record for most points scored without taking home the championship. Pedrosa was unlucky in 2013 as well. He was leading the championship going into Aragon when teammate Marc Marquez made a move on him, breaking a rear tyre sensor and sent him flying into the next corner. In comparison to other top riders, Dani has a high injury per crash ratio due to his history of injuries throughout his World Championship career. His inability to have a clean season and a chance to win the championship has frequently been due to these injuries. His absences from races in 2010, 11, 13, 15, and 2016, all contributing to not winning a title. After a challenging season in 2018, Pedrosa did not finish on the podium or win any races for the first time in his MotoGP career. His worst ever finish, and only second time outside of the top 5, came at the end of the season when he finished in 11th place in the Riders' Championship. In a news conference held at the German Grand Prix on July 12th, Pedrosa announced that he would retire from the MotoGP World Championship by the end of 2018. This was in response to Honda's decision not to renew his contract for the 2019 season, with Jorge Lorenzo taking his position. Pedrosa was clearly talented enough to win a MotoGP championship, but luck was not on his side. This did not prevent him from being recognized as a legend and inducted into the MotoGP Hall of Fame. After riding Hondas from 2001 to 2018, Dani signed a 2-year contract to work as a KTM test rider. This paid off nicely at Brno 2020, where Brad Binder won his maiden MotoGP race and KTM's first since the team's 2016 entry into the series. As usually the case with development riders, he first rejected the idea of entering races as a wildcard, and he even refused to take Johann Zarco's position for the remainder of the 2019 season after the Frenchman's sudden decision to end his contract with KTM. He made a comeback to racing for KTM in 2021, competing in the Styrian Grand Prix in Austria as a wildcard rider. He then made 2 appearances in 2023, finishing 6th and 7th at Jerez and twice in 4th at Misano. Pedrosa made his racing debut in March 2022, when it was revealed that he would be driving the number 29 Lamborghini Huracan in 3 rounds of the 2022 Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe with the Rexall FFF racing team. It was also revealed that Antonin Borger, a Swiss endurance racer, would be his co-driver. He would participate in the championship's Pro-Am class. In the first race at Imola, Pedrosa and Borger qualified 5th, and in the second, he qualified 21st, but finished 4th in his class and 8th overall. It wasn't too awful for his rookie season, but Pedrosa and Borger would eventually crash out of the next 2 races. Circumstances and time favoured the Spaniard a little less, and you have to consider that when drawing up any arguments that Pedrosa deserved to have at least 1 MotoGP title. With that being said, don't forget to subscribe for more upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.